Welcome to session 8 of Managing Strategic Resources and Operations. My name is Dr. Razak Barry and I'm the subject coordinator of this unit. Today we're going to talk about operations, scheduling, and sequencing. By completing this session, you can explain the concept of scheduling and sequencing, describing staff scheduling and appointment system decision, explain the need of for monitoring schedules using Gantt chart, use assignment method for loading, explain the process of dispatching and typical priority rules that are used, and give example of commonly used priority rules. Scheduling the process of determining and organizing the timing and sequence of activities, equipment usage, and human resources within an organization. It involves creating a timetable or plan that outlines when and how different tasks, processes, or events should happen. In the context of manufacturing, scheduling is crucial for planning production activities. This includes coordinating the availability of workers, equipment, materials, and maintenance services to ensure efficient and timely production. By establishing a well structured schedule, manufacturing can optimize the resources, minimize downtime, and meet production targets. Effective scheduling offers several benefits, include cost saving and increased productivity. By streamlining operations and reducing idle time, organization can save on expenses associated with overtime, inventory, and underutilized resources. Additionally, a well executed schedule can enhance productivity by ensuring that tasks are completed in a logical and different manner, reducing delays and bottlenecks. Moreover, scheduling helps improve overall organization efficiency and effectiveness. It enables better coordination and communication among team members, facilitates better decision making, and help in meeting deadlines and customer commitments. By providing a clear roadmap for activities, scheduling reduces uncertainty and promotes a smoother workflow. In the context of scheduling, there are several factors and decisions that impose constraints and influence the process. This includes system capacity, products and or service design, equipment selection, worker selection and training, and aggregation planning and master scheduling. So system capacity is to refer to maximize output or workload that a system can handle within a given time frame. When scheduling, it is essential to consider capacity limitation of a system to ensure that the planning activities can be accommodated and completed. Product and or service design decisions play an important role in scheduling. The characteristics of product and services such as complexity, volume, and customization can impact the scheduling requirements. Different design may require different processes or different product processes and time frame which need to be considered when developing schedules. Equipment selection is another important factor here. Different type of equipment may have varied capability, capacity, and setup time. Scheduling must account for these factors to allocate the appropriate equipment for specific task and ensure that equipment is available when it is needed. Worker selection and training are also very important. The skill, expertise, and availability of workers influence the allocation of tasks and the timing of the activities. Schedules need to be aligned with the workforce capability and availability, considering factors such as training requirements, shift patterns, and labor regulations. Aggregate planning and master scheduling provide an overarching framework for scheduling. Aggregate planning involves forecasting and determining the overall production level, workforce requirement, and inventory levels over long-term horizon. Master scheduling, on the other hand, translates the aggregate planning into a specific schedule, details when and how individual tasks will be executed. When we talk about the scheduling, the hierarchy in manufacturing and services is slightly different. As you can see, manufacturing, we have aggregate planning, master production schedule, material requirement planning, and shop floor schedule. Then in a service, we have aggregate planning, master schedule, monthly or weekly schedule, and also daily schedule. So we do have two different schedule approach. Forward scheduling is involve planning and scheduling tasks starting from a particular point in time and moving forward. It is commonly used when the primary concern is determining the duration required to complete a job or project. By scheduling forward, organization can estimate the time needed for each task, allocate resources, and establish timeline for project completion. On the other hand, we have backward scheduling, involve planning and scheduling tasks starting from the due date or deadline and moving backward. It is employed when the main question is determining the latest possible start time for a job or project to ensure on-time completion. By scheduling backward, organization can identify the latest start date for individual tasks, allowing them to allocate resources and plan the workflow accordingly. In summary, forward scheduling focuses on determining the time required to complete a task or project, while backward scheduling focusing on identifying the latest start date to meet the specific deadline. Loading refers to the process of assigning jobs or tasks to a specific processing center or workstation within an organization. It involves allocating the necessary resources such as equipment, machineries, and human resources to carry out the assigned job effectively and efficiently. One commonly used tool for loading and schedule purposes is the Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a visual aid that displays the plan or actual use of resources within a specific time frame. It typically consists of horizontal bars representing different tasks or jobs and the corresponding start and end date. The chart provides a clear overview of the schedule and allow manager to monitor progress and identify any potential issues or bottleneck. The purpose of Gantt chart is to help organize and visually display the allocation of the resources in a time frame. Gantt chart also helps in trial and error schedule development. Managers can experience with different arrangement and allocation of resources, altering the timeline and task dependency to see how it affects the overall schedule. So, in summary, loading involve assigning jobs to processing centers, and Gantt chart are commonly used as visual aid for loading and scheduling purpose. A load chart is a type of Gantt chart that specifically focuses on displaying the loading and ideal time for a group of machines or a list of departments within an organization. It provides a visual representation of the utilization of machines or department over a specific time period. The load chart typically consists of horizontal bars or blocks representing individual machine or department. The length of the bar represents the duration of task or job assigned to each machine or department. By using load chart, manager can actually easily visualize and analyze the utilization of machines or department. It helps them to identify period of high demand or peak activity, as well as times when resources are underutilized. This information allows them to make informed decisions about resource allocation, scheduling, and also capacity planning. So in Gantt chart loading approach, we do have two loading, one infinite loading and one finite loading. So in infinite, jobs are assigned to workstation without regard to the capacity of the work center. While in infinite loading, jobs are assigned to the work center, taking into account the work center capacity and job processing time. So these are the differences that we can see also in the picture as well. Also, we have a schedule chart which shows the order or jobs in progress and whether they are on schedule or not. For example, you can see drawing in stage one, it's done. Then we have site preparation, it's done a little bit more than it's supposed to. It goes to 3.5, and trees done in the time that it's supposed to. But when we're coming into the period four, you can see it's not complete yet. That there were some delays and stuff. So, and it's also there's a line shows now today. So by looking at the schedule chart, we can see what progress, what jobs are in progress, whether there are some delays, which ones are complete earlier, which one is completing later, and we can also manage those throughout those things. Staff scheduling involved the process of aligning the available personnel with the requirements of an organization. It aims to efficiently forecast the demand for work, determine the necessary staffing level, and develop a schedule that optimizes service delivery while minimizing costs. To achieve effective staff scheduling, accurate demand forecasting is crucial. This involves predicting the quantity and timing of work that needs to be done. By understanding the expected work organization can determine the appropriate number of staff required in different time periods. Next, staffing required are determined by analyzing the workload and identifying the number of personnel needed to meet the demand. These include considering factors such as skill set, experience, and availability of the staff. Once the required staffing level are determined, the organization assess the personnel availability, taking into account both full-time and part-time employees. The mix of full-time and part-time staff is carefully considered to ensure optimal coverage and flexibility. The objective of staff scheduling is to match the capacity of available personnel to the demand requirements. Schedule should allocate tasks and shift in a way that effectively utilize the available workforce and ensure that the organization meet its operational needs. Appointments refer to the process of reserving service time and capacity for customers. They are commonly used in various industries such as healthcare, salon, and professional services. The primary purpose of appointment is to maximize the utilization of time, dependent service capacity, and minimize the risk of no-shows. By scheduling appointment, service providers can effectively manage their time and resources. Customers book a specific time slot, ensuring that the service provider capacity is utilized efficiently and there are minimal gap or ideal period for the workday. This helps reduce cost as service providers are ideal less frequently, optimizing the productivity. Appointment also allows service providers to better accommodate the customers and forecast their behavior. By knowing the expected number of customers and the duration of each appointment, service providers can allocate the necessary resources, such as the staff and equipment, to meet the demand. They can adjust the schedule based on customer preferences and availability, ensuring a smoother and more organized service delivery processes. Also, appointments help to reducing the risk of no-shows. When customers reserve a specific time slot, they are more likely to honor the commitment and show up for the service. This minimizes the loss of revenue and enables service providers to make better use of their time and resources. The assignment method is a mathematical approach used to solve the optimal assignment or of tasks or resources within a given set of constraints. It consists of two main components, the assignment model and Hungarian method. The assignment model is a linear programming model that helps determine the most efficient assignment of tasks to resources. It involves identifying the objective functions and constraints that define the problem, such as minimizing costs or maximizing productivity. By formulating the problem as a mathematical model, it becomes possible to find the optimal assignment solution. Then we have Hungarian method, also known as Kohn-Munkares algorithm, is a specific algorithm used to solve the assignment problems. It provides a systematic approach to find the lowest cost solution by creating one-to-one matching between jobs and resources. The method um, identified the optimal assignment by calculating the cost matrix and modifying it through a series of steps until the lowest cost assignment is achieved. Using the assignment method and Hungarian method, organization can actually optimize the resource allocation and assignment of tasks. They are particularly useful in situations where there is a need to allocate limited resources effectively, such as in project management, workforce scheduling, and supply chain optimization. Sequencing is a process of determining the order in which jobs or tasks at a work center will be presented. It involves establishing a sequence or prioritizations of jobs to ensure efficiency and effectiveness of the utilization of resources and to meet organization goals. Priority rules are simple heuristics or decision making guidelines used to select the order in which job will be processed. These rules are often based on certain criteria such as job due dates, job size, and job priorities. Priority rules helps to making quick decisions without the need for complex mathematical models or extensive analysis. It is important to note that priority rules typically assume that job setup time and times are independent of the processing sequence. In other words, the setup cost and time are required for a job are considered constant regardless of the job position in the sequence. Job time refers to the time needed for the setup and processing of a job. It includes the time required to prepare the work center for processing a specific job, such as adjusting equipment or changing tools, as well as the time needed to complete the job itself. So on the sequencing, we have priority rules and it has different methods. So we have first come, first serve. Jobs are processed in order in which they arrive at the machine or work center. Then we have shortest processing times. Jobs are processing according to processing time at the machine or work center, shortest times first. Then we have earliest due dates. Jobs are processed according to due date, earliest due date first. And also we have rush, emergency or preferred customers. Two work center sequencing refer to the process of determining the optimal order in which jobs should be processed across two work centers or machines. Johnson rules is a technique commonly used in this context to minimize the maker spam and total idle time. Johnson rules aims to find the optimal sequence of a job, minimize the time required to complete all the jobs. It considered the job time, which include both setup and processing times, and assume that all these times are known and constant for each job at the work center. Additionally, Johnson's rule assumed that job times are independent of the sequence and all the jobs follow the same two-step sequence where they are completed at the first worker session before they move into the second worker session. The rule works by comparing the shortest time processing time for each job at the first work center and then the second work center. Based on these comparisons, it determines the order in which the job should be processed to minimize the overall maker span. The maker span refers to the total time required to complete the job. By applying Johnson rule, organization can optimize the sequencing of job across two work centers, resulting in reducing maker spam and minimize idle time. It helps in improving efficiency, maximizing resource utilization, and meeting production targets. So, in summary, the two work center sequence involve determining the optimal order in which jobs should be processed across the two center. By applying all the rules like a Johnson rules and everything, organization can achieve better efficiency and resource utilization in their production processes. In conclusion, scheduling plays a vital role in organization by assigning a specific start and completion time to jobs, people, or equipment. Gantt charts serve as effective tools for monitoring and visualizing schedules, providing a clear overview of task duration and dependency. Sequencing helps determine the optimal order in which jobs or tasks should be processed, consider factors such as resource availability and dependencies. Additionally, priority and Johnson rules are valuable technique using this to solve scheduling problems by prioritizing tasks and optimizing job sequencing. By employing these scheduling techniques and tool organization can enhance efficiency, optimize resources allocations, and meet project deadlines effectively. And we reached the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed this session and I wish you all the best and good luck.